Okay, so we're moving on to the next discussion, and I'd like to introduce our second speaker. Our second speaker is Mr. Dapo Omolade. He's the CEO of Hybrid Group, a comprehensive safety solutions provider, encompassing training, consultancy, and more. Mr. Dapo brings over 24 years of active experience in occupational health and safety environment and project management also. He has consistently served clients in diverse industries such as oil and gas, construction, power and energy, manufacturing, and other various institutions. He served as the ex-chairman of IOSH West Africa. He's also the president of Safety Advocacy and Empowerment Foundation, National Publicity Secretary of Oil and Gas Trainers, and also Association of Nigeria Octane, and is also the board member of the Occupational Safety Society of Nigeria. He's also the founder of Dapo Omolade Empowerment Initiative, which is popularly known as DOME. Dapo is not only a safety practitioner, but also an entrepreneur, advocate, consultant, trainer, auditor, coach, mentor, and speaker at various conferences. And is also committed to human empowerment and capacity building in HSC and project management, actively engaging as a coach, mentor, and regular speaker at seminars, workshops, and other programs. With no further ado, please welcome Mr. Dapo Omolade, and he's going to be speaking to us about how to enrich the rich culture of Nigerian culture, in our business in order to take it to the global scale. Mr. Dapo, please, over to you, sir. You're welcome, sir. Please kindly have a show of hands, just show your reaction to welcome our next speaker. You're welcome, sir. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you so very much, Bukola. And I would like to say thank you to everyone who's on the call. Special thanks to SBP for this opportunity to interact. And I'm very happy I'm at the first session because indeed there's quite a lot of take home from there. So thank you so much thank you, Tina, for that good presentation. It's glad to be here, and I think I will just be sharing my slide very quickly. I'm disabled. Can you give me the right to share my slide quickly, okay? I think this conversation is a very interesting conversation because taking it from what, okay, I can share now, okay. It's still disabled. Taking it from what Tina said, thinking global but acting local, I think that's, for me, is a very big, okay, yeah, I can share my screen now, thank you. I think that's a very big, big takeaway from that conversation from her, because indeed we need to take the rightful stage where we all belong when it comes to business. Has been rightly introduced. Of course, I started my journey as a professional in a multinational where I worked for some years. But for the past 14 years that I launched out, there are quite a number of things that I can share on this platform as takeaways and what we have learned in the journey. So I'll be using this 15, 20 minutes, just share some very important things that I have learned in my journey as a business person in Nigeria. Thank you very much. So let's move on. So I'm talking about craft distinctive Nigeria brand, culture, values, and identity. I would like to state from the ongoing that I'm one unrepentant Nigeria, and I've never had opportunity to think otherwise for being a Nigerian because, yes, having traveled across the globe, I still understand very well that perhaps I would not have been a very good or a successful businessman if I've been out of Nigeria. And the reasons are not too far away from the fact that there are parts of me and the way I do my business today that are based on what Nigeria is as a country. And therefore, it's very important for us to look at what we're doing, especially for those of us on this call who are business people, to consider what we are doing and seeing how the strength of this nation, the possibility of this nation, and the character that is in the fabric of the country called Nigeria, the positives can be used as an advantage, can be used as a platform, not just to do your business here in Nigeria, but also to take it globally. Today, I'm proud to say, and I'm very thankful to God to say, in 14 years of our business, we have done business in more than 20 countries, and we presently are in about 3 countries fully as a business working. And all of this started from just a small one room in Nigeria. But I can tell my story quickly that the transformation has been based on what I have learned in the culture, in the values, in the identity that Nigeria has brought to me. And that I have taken abroad. And that's like thinking globally, but acting locally. Yes, I'm here, but we're doing what we need to do all over the world. Okay, so I've just put some companies here. Don't worry, if your company is not here, it can be there. I just didn't have enough time to put all the companies that I could look at. So I did some sorting of different sectors and just put them here. But definitely, I'm not sure there's any Nigerian that shouldn't know any of these companies that we have stated here, because they are brands that people celebrate in this part of the world. So quickly, I'll look at a bit of importance of distinctive branding, and look at Nigeria as a context, and I'll be looking at our values here. The core part of it for me would be building your brand story with respect to what international markets or the global requirements are. And that would be a big one. And again, Tina has mentioned 1 or 2 of those things, which I'm just going to be repeating to us. And then I look at challenges and the way to go out of it, and then conclusion quickly. All right, so the world is growing very seriously. Today, everybody understands that we run, or we are existing in a global community. And that implies quickly that you are not isolated, you are not alone. There are things we do here in my little office in Ikeja here that has, or that could have, a global impact in any part of the US. That is what the world has become. The world has become so closely knit together based on the various things that are happening around us. And I think business is one of those things that have brought the world so close. And we all need to understand this as Nigerians. We are doing business here, that the closest you can get to what is happening in the world is when your business has a brand. It's like speaking in a country that you have never been to. If you do not understand the language, anything you say can be misinterpreted. So if you have a business here that needs to operate in a global economy, in a global market, in a very serious global community where everybody interacts seamlessly, it means your business must have an appeal that the world can hear what you are saying, they can see what you are saying. And I think because Nigeria is part of the global market, if you take it as basic mathematics, if Nigeria is a subset of the full set of what you are having, then it means your business also should be a subset of the global business. And that's the way I think, or I think presently, and that's what I've been thinking for some years now. Nigeria is not isolated from the world. Nigeria is part of the global world. If my business is also not relating at that level, it means something is wrong. So my business should be a subset of what is happening in the global market. And having a brand is very crucial to this. And of course, brand is what brings you out, what separates you. You can't be the only one doing the business if you are very lucky as a monopolistic market leader. But in most cases, that does not really work so much. And Nigeria is one of those places that you start a business today, by the end of today, 2 other businesses are starting looking like your own. So you can't just be in the monopolistic market. It's difficult in this part of the world. But your brand stands you out. What you have brought to the table is what people see, and they say, okay, we understand that you are doing the same thing with other company B, but you are not the same. And this is what we need to understand with this. So from the Nigerian perspective, we need to understand that there are things in our DNA that are very rich and support business. I heard from my grandfather how they used to do business those days. So even before the global technology and data and digital came into business, there is a way Nigeria have always done business. And if you come back to our own part of Nigeria, where I come from in the Yorubas, you see that in the villages, there's a way they do business. And that is entrenched in our culture, is entrenched in the value that we celebrate. And you'll see some of those values as I bring them out very quickly. things like celebrating Nigeria traditions, spotlighting local aesthetics and artisans, aligning with our values, which is community-based, makes it easy for us to have a brand that we can take somewhere else. Because that brand can be built on the fact that this is what we celebrate in Nigeria, and then put it together and then export it as everybody is thinking. I think the large part of Nigeria in the last few years, we have been very satisfied with this mindset. I was talking to a friend some time ago, and he did say that thing, and I felt like, why are you saying that? If I mentioned it to me, I said, okay, I'm in Ghana now. We are looking at starting a new venture in Senegal. We're already making. And he said, what are you looking for all over the world? Nigeria has got 200 million people. Potentially 50% of that can buy your product or your service. So why are you going out? So some of us have been, somehow our mindset have been conditioned to saying Nigeria is enough big market. Why go out? Why are you going out? But I ask myself a simple question. Why are the Europeans, why are the Americans, why are the Chinese, why are the Indians coming to Nigeria to do business? So the same way, because India has got bigger population than us, China has got bigger population than us, the US has got bigger population than us. Why are they in Nigeria doing business and bringing their culture to Nigeria? Is because there is a global movement of labor and markets. So, and it's in this age of dollars and pounds, I think it makes sense for anybody to start thinking global right now, because it's the only way to actually, or one of the very few ways to actually stabilize your system, especially when the economy is going, the way you don't like. So I think Nigeria has enough tradition and value that can actually take us to the world and export what we've got. So these are the key importance for me of having a brand that is distinctive. You just stand out from the competition. There's a connection with your customers where even price modulation, price changes may not necessarily affect the fact that you've got a relationship. And you understand that this thing is based on the values that we have. Easier to expand globally and build trust and reputation. And of course, it provides focus to the organization and future-proofs the business because of sustainability that you may need to think. So let's think about Nigeria quickly with the culture and the business. And these are a few things I was able to bring out with Nigeria that I am, and of course that I work in. The most populous country in Africa, we're already aware of, there are 200 million or plus right now. 250 ethnic groups and over 500 languages makes us very diverse, which is a beauty of what Nigeria is. Forget the fact that this could also bring some negativity that we have seen, but that broad, languages and ethnicity is a strong diversity that will actually help your business to grow very well. Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa. Of course, we are aware of that. 26th in the world. GDP as of last year, over $1 trillion. The art and music of Nigeria, which are expressions of the culture and historic experiences of the people. And that's one part we are going to see. If you are looking at your business and looking at the culture, look at the businesses or the guys or the people that we are talking about today who are becoming so young but dominating when it comes to capital might. You see them in the entertainment industry. What have they gone to do? Basically take the Nigerian culture and values and what we do and make it into a music, and then the whole world is listening. I was shocked. I was in Australia sometime last year, and that place, like they say, is far from every part of the world. And after eating so many things for several days, I was looking for a place to at least have something that tastes like Nigeria. And one of the Nigerian guys, they say, to get this one, you really need to go farther than where you are now. And we're walking through an Indian shop, and here comes music. Coming out of that room was a Nigerian music from Australia. So you see that richness of our art and music has become a very dominant business globally. It means our culture can sell globally. And that's what I'm telling myself now. My culture, the values, the traditions of this country can become a brand anywhere in the world, and they can celebrate it. And of course, you now move from the music and arts, and then you go to fashion and food, and then you see what we have as our culture that is distinctive. that can make us do so many things. What are the things? I mean, there are several core values that Nigeria can say. And we can say, this is Nigeria. In fact, when somebody sees you, say, that's a Nigerian. However, I've just brought about 3 or 4 here, just for the sake of this conversation. It's still, I think it was last year, they said we have gone to number 2 happiest nation in the world. But I'm one of those people that believe that I'm not sure there's any country that is as happy as Nigeria, despite and in spite of what we're going through. We are a hospitable people. Now, let me teach you what this has taught me as a business. I always pride myself in, you come into my business for the first time as a customer, you are going nowhere, because I have a culture that can keep people to itself, a culture that draws people to itself, a culture that's happy, that makes you feel happy. Then why can't that become a global indicator for my business? So I put that together, and when I'm talking to my customer service team, I'm saying, hey, we are happy people, and you need to let your customer know that you're a happy person, because happiness indeed brings out something in you. We have respect for people. We are not disrespectful at all in Nigeria. Forget about what you hear. Nigeria should be, it's not just because we prostrate for somebody, you prostrate now and the next minute you abuse him. That's not what I'm saying. But generally, we were trained to be so respectful that sometimes it could become a disadvantage where you cannot speak out. But that's a rich value for Nigerians, that we can respect people, we can acknowledge people, and then use that to the strength of what we want to achieve in our business. Buki, please let me know when I have just 5 minutes to go, although I'm almost done. Then the last thing is community spirit and resilience. I'm also still searching. I've not seen a research, so hopefully I'll be able to see a research on resilient countries in the world, and I will see maybe Nigeria will not be one of the 3. There's something about us that just keeps going on. There's something about us that never stops. This die-hard attitude that says, I just need to keep on, even when the obstacles are looking at me and saying you can't continue. And this is us. This is our value. This is what we have learned. This is what makes business. Because all of these points I've just raised here, if you have gone into business schools, and I've had quite a number of things, these are points that make business grow. These are the things they teach in some business schools on how to retain customers, how to get customers, how to make sure customers keep coming. And these values are entrenched in us as a country, and we can't possibly throw that away. And if you go to our flags of call, it also tells you the story, especially when it comes to the aspect of what we say in our national anthems, and what even our colors depict to the whole world. And our history just start from pre-colonial times to where we are now. Yes, I read the book recently. They say, oh, Nigerian culture is disappearing. We're having influx of so many people. Well, no matter how true that is, but we still have the culture and the real foundation that will allow us to become the best in the world if we take our business to other places. So to build your brand story, and I heard about storytelling, from Tina as well, we need to narrate the brand's journey within the context of Nigerian history. I'm doing this very comfortably and I've actually seen how this has helped in many things that I do. We emphasize authenticity and sincerity in our storytelling, and then we connect with our audience emotionally. There's one of my colleagues that traveled to the UK recently and was supposed to do a course here, professional colleague, and couldn't do the course. And I encouraged him, just do it in the UK and tick the box. And he did the course. And when he called me, he said, Dapo, Dapson said, I have a problem. I said, what? He said, I didn't learn anything in that class because I could not connect with the instructor. I said, okay, what happened? You can't hear what you're saying. He said, no, I could hear him, but it was just ordinary. He just went through the script, went through the slide, went through everything, and said bye-bye. That there was no storytelling, there was nothing in between that actually made me connect to what he was even teaching. And he was trying to refer back to when he attended the course under me and said, I'm saying, no. Any other course I need to do now, either do it virtually or I'm coming to Nigeria to do it. There's an emotion that comes with everything we do. And then this brings the best out of us as well. So what are the cultural symbols that we need to look at? And these are realities. Look at what we are seeing in the world right now. People come to Nigeria to order our culture and take them to the Americans. They take them to the Europe as sales or as opportunity for them to make money. Then we have them here, we do not even understand it. We do not even take advantage of it, because it's Nigerian culture. No, I don't want to have anything to do with this. Well, if you're a business person, I think you are missing too much if you don't want to have anything to do with Nigerian culture and what it brings to the table. So let me round up by, this is where I'm actually going to in my conclusion. We need to align with global values, even though we have our own values. And there are some values that even our local values bring to the table. For example, sustainability. This is big all over the world right now. And Tina also mentioned this. This is big. You can't be a Nigerian brand right now and you are not thinking about sustainability. Then you are not in business. How much are you doing for the society in terms of CSR? How much of the personal social responsibility are you doing? Do you even have any ESG footprint? This is where the world is going. It's a global value that is being portrayed right now. And for you to be in that scope, then you must embrace and align with it. And our values help us to align with it. Remember, I said we are community-based people. We are people that love one another. Then if we love one another, they will do for others, we'll be willing to help others. We'll be willing to sacrifice and bring some things out to help the society that we are also gaining values from in form of corporate social responsibility. We will have to embrace technology. Again, Tina has already emphasized this so much. Yeah, we are growing very fast in our technology, but we need to continue to embrace technology, digitization, automation of processes, AI, mixed realities. These are things that we can't do that business over there if you are not aligning with. And I think this one is the key part for me that I always like to push out. We need to begin to think ethical beyond what we have always done. We can't change the reality of what they are saying about us right now. And I know most of us on this call know what they say about Nigeria right now, what they say about us when it comes to business ethics and the way we do business. We need to align with best global practices. And I think this links directly with sustainability, especially the aspect of governance. I think every company should start thinking governance because that's sustainability. That brings ethical values to the table. Nigeria has history of ethics, but has been eroded. We need to take it back because that's our value. Nigeria has, those days, I know how they tell a story of how nobody steals. In fact, it's a shame. Somebody will tell you, you remember the name of your father and the family where you're coming from. That was enough to make sure you come to your sense. But it's been eroded, or it's been eroded gradually. Every Nigerian business should begin to bring ethical standards to what they do. You must obey the rule. You must have governance as your system in order for you to play in the global market. And then you can begin to engage diaspora. Last 4 years, I don't know how many Nigerians have gone out of Nigeria. I tell you today, a lot of people that still do business with me in this business are people who have gone. They'll still call in and say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. They have become diaspora, but they are still here doing business with us. Therefore, we need to also look at those areas and see how we can connect. Remember, connecting with our roots is part of our value, and we can bring that to the table all the time. Just a few organizations here that I could pick in different sectors that have brought some things out to show how Nigerian values is being exported, from GTB in the fashion and food to the Nollywood that are doing quite a lot in the entertainment. Innocent, the automobile manufacturer, Ijele. I don't know if you have seen that car. I saw that car and I said, oh my God, when I have money, I need to get one of those cars. That bulldog-like vehicle, which is like, they say in the Ijele is like an Igbo word for a very autonomous masquerade that is massive. They brought that into the creation of that vehicle, culture into product, and we have Jumia, we have Goldberg celebrating Nigerian culture. And there could be many, but I just picked this. Even my company is not here, but these are the ones we can see that are leading in what they are doing. And you see people talk about how they have infused our culture into their business. And finally, challenges and solutions. Again, we do have problems that people have showed us or that we have created for ourselves. Diversity has become a problem to us, even though it's supposed to be a benefit. Volatility in our economy, big deal. The rising inflation, the rising economic indicators, big deal. Consumer trust, serious competition from external, regulatory complexities that we don't even understand all, and then socioeconomic disparities. All of these are big problems, but we can also look at solutions out of them, which includes let's embrace diversity and make it the strength of what we do. Let's develop marketing campaigns that can reach out to every part of Nigeria, the Igbos, the Hausa, the Efik, the Yorubas, anywhere that can understand what we are doing and embrace our product and services. Let's implement robust financial planning and bring governance to what we are doing, because the problem of companies disappearing in Nigeria is governance issue, where a company cannot celebrate 100 years. So let's bring governance. Let's invest in power, because we have power issue. Let's be real about this. Power issue is, staring us on the face every day. Invest into it and embrace alternate energy. Prioritize transparency. Let our customer begin to see us as ethical, as transparent business people. Differentiate your brand through your value. Focus on your quality, focus on customer service, and then be innovative. Stay informed about the changes that are going on in the regulatory framework, because if you get caught in them, you get yourself into trouble very quickly. And then bring services from your innovation that can meet different ladder or cadre of the society. Do pricing based on the different cadre you are meeting, or even the different culture you are reaching out to, and take this even outside of the country. I sell some courses in Nigeria at 100,000. I sell it for $500 when somebody is buying it from outside of Nigeria. That's not the same, but I'm selling it to international market. And so it can be the same amount as I'm selling in Nigeria. All right, so in conclusion, globalization has made distinctive branding which are rooted in cultural authenticity. And we need to understand that as Nigerians, and for our company to survive and succeed, we need to build consumer communities worldwide through the global brand that we're creating here. Yes, in Ikeja, but selling to utmost part of the world and taking that brand to there to say, this is who we are. This entails celebrating and conserving Nigeria's unique heritage and unifying it with universal edge to craft brands that are equipped for 21st century and beyond in the global market. As a business, I'm looking at my brand becoming a brand globally, not just Nigeria, and we're on it, but I'm taking Nigeria down to those places in order for me to become a global brand. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll stop here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dapo. Thank you for that well-detailed presentation. Please, if you have questions, we're going to be taking them during the Q&A session. Please just note that down, and once it's time, we'll let you, ask your questions.